Sahana vavatu Sahano bhunaktu Sahabhiryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, may He protect us both. May we both enjoy together. May we both exert together. May our studies become brilliant. May we not become disputatious and hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. So welcome to the classes, Tattva-Bodhah. The biggest problem which a common person faces is he or she is so tied up with different roles they are performing in the world that they have forgotten what is their original identity. Only when you understand who you are, Tattva-Bodhah, in essence, can we segregate ourselves or separate ourselves from the so-called responsibilities and duties in the society with an attitude of I need to do certain things in life. Of course, everybody needs to act, but I am not the person who's acting. So relinquishing our own arrogance and ego of doing things and thinking that there is some divine power which is doing it through us. The advantage of that is the purity of the work, the action, the duties and the responsibility, whatever you perform in the world, it becomes inspirational. Inspired activity is that activity where there is no doer, there is no kartritva bhavana. Kartritva means action which has that emotion that I am the one who is doing it. So as soon as this kartritva comes, it spoils the whole thing. So there is no ego, there is no arrogance, and that's why these theories, these concepts are given, so that the more you strike higher from an idealistic point of view of who am I, is there a superior power? If there is, I have no idea, but if there is a superior power, and that was the demarcation. Last verse which we did was the person who is an individual, Jiva, as well as Ishvara. I think so we have done a lot about that, Jiva and Ishvara. So Ishvara is considered to be the higher position where that supreme Brahman functions through the macrocosm. Jiva is that supreme Brahman which is confined to, limited to, within a individual, microcosm. And we ended up by saying that those people who say Jiva is different, Ishvara is different, is not true, because both are the same. The power vested in both of them are the same. Only thing is, one works in a macrocosmic level, the worldly level, the other works in an individual level. But at the end, the more I have a vision of something higher than myself, automatically I have seen in my life the affectation and the agitation caused in me by me and mine, people around, reduces dramatically. So that's the whole idea. And now we have moved ahead of saying that, okay, Ishvara and Jiva are the one. Once you understand, and that's the subsequent verse which we are going. So we'll do the verse first and then the explanation will launch. Thus, with the help of the words of Vedanta and the teachings of the Satguru, one who sees the reality permeated in all beings is called Jivanmuktah. Thus, iti, therefore, continuing the thought of what was there before. Thus, with the help, the three helps are there. What is the three help? With the help of Vedanta, the scriptural studies, Vedanta, huge volume of subject, absolutely huge. So we have the four Vedas in our Shastras: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharvana Veda. This most of us know. And each Veda is bifurcated into 3 or 4 sections. In the Upanishad, it's written in the 4 sections. So the first section is the Brahmana, then there is a mantra, then there is a Aranyaka, forest treatise, and the last portion of Vedas is called the Upanishads. Okay, Upanishads are the last portion of all the Vedas. Since it is the last portion of Vedanta, it is also called Vedanta. Since it is the last portion of all the Vedas, it is called Vedanta, end of the Vedas. So Veda, Anta, Anta means end, Vedas means the book of knowledge. So end of the book of knowledge is Vedanta, which is called the Upanishads. Upanishad, the word itself, so it has a summation of the whole Veda in the form of concentrated knowledge. The main part, main philosophical content of the Vedas is the Upanishads. So there have been many Upanishads. A great master, Adi Shankaracharya, has wrote commentaries on quite a lot, and there are people reading Upanishads. Basically it is, so when somebody says I am studying Upanishad, nothing big about it, because it is Vedanta. Okay, the end of the Vedas is called Vedanta. It's a particular subject. Upanishad, the word itself, Upa means near, Ni means sit, Shad means below. So Upa, Ni, Shad. Upa, near, Ni is below, Shad means sit. So I was wrong the first time. Upanishad. Upa means near. The nearness to the teacher is very important to the student. The nearness doesn't mean hanging on to the teacher and suffocating the person. It's not that. Nearness means when you are listening to the teacher, when you are talking to him or her, there is a certain kind of rapport you feel with him or her. Whatever he or she, the teacher, is trying to explain, it's a very difficult subject. It's a very difficult subject because this is something which only the teacher has experienced and the student has not experienced. So it's like saying that, you have to see the Taj Mahal, it is beautiful, or you have to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, or whatever be the monument, it is beautiful. It's very hard to explain to somebody what you saw. Even if you show them a picture, it's hard to show that experience. So when you are in love with somebody, or when you want to express your love towards your parents or whoever they are, husband, wife, it's very difficult to manifest that expression to a third party and say, this much I love. You can't quantify the love. Therefore, to experience the higher factor of spirituality and use the finite medium of the body, mind and intellect to express what he or she has experienced, that power of divinity, it becomes literally impossible. Therefore, the student has a tremendous amount of keenness to be hanging on to each and every word of what the teacher says, who the teacher is trying to communicate something. Therefore, the student feels absolutely near to the teacher. No distractions, no disturbances at all. Can't tolerate those disturbances. So nothing except the teacher and the studies, the granthas. Upa, knee, below. If you see, in olden times, the teacher used to sit on a sort of a higher elevated position, and the students used to sit down. So when the students are sitting down, the teacher is looking down. It is said knowledge always flows from the higher plane to the lower plane, exactly like water. Similarly, when the students are looking up to the teacher, it's an attitude of devotion, ready to receive. Like a child bird keeps its head up and keeps on asking for food, and the parent is putting its head down and giving the food. That attitude of surrender is required by the student. So complete surrender represents the seating position. Some of the colleges I have been, the professor is standing down and the students, the rows are up. So the students are looking down at the teacher. That should not be the case. It should be the other way around. So we should have that attitude of surrender below. Shad means sit. Wherever you are. Sir, I am here. I heard your lecture. It was very nice. It was very enjoying. And once I saw that video, that lady was listening and she was nicely walking around with the lecture in the hand, nicely walking in the society. Now, when you are walking, when you are interacting with people and just listening for listening's sake, some songs are all right. Some entertainment aspect is different. But here, you need to be a student. You need to sit. Sit, not necessarily physically. If you can sit physically and concentrate on the lectures, nothing like it. Sit means your mind is not deviated and misdirected to other avenues. It has got full focus on what is happening. There are no distractions. So sitting means full concentration on whatever is going on at present. So Upanishad itself means you are so near, you are sitting below with complete devotion and introvertedness, that you will receive this knowledge. So what you do, first thing, study the scriptures of Vedanta. Don't do anything except just study the scriptures. So the three aspects of studying the scriptures, then this is the first one, study the scriptures. Go through the scriptures, go through Bhagavad Gita, go through Tattva-Bodhah, and don't study with an attitude of when it is going to be over. This used to happen when I used to be in school. When I am studying and my friends are calling me to play, every time the thought is, when am I going to finish this homework and go down? The focus was going down and playing more than the study. Remember, scriptural study, spiritual study is not a target set saying that I have to study these many texts, I have to study these many verses. No. The target is, have I understood it? Have I seen the same laws which is written here in the books thousands of years back? Has it applied to me? Have I lived it now? Is it applicable to me? So you are constantly experimenting yourself with these laws. That takes time. Never be in a hurry. It is not the destination that is important. It is the journey. The change is in the journey, not in the destination. You understand? So whenever you are studying, study with absolute peace of mind. Don't think about you have to cover 3 verses a day, you have to cover. Don't think about that. You don't have to cover anything, because the change in the subjective is more important than the objective knowledge pursued by the world. So anybody asking me how many granthas you have studied, have you studied the Brahma Sutra, have you studied the Prashna Upanishad, have you studied the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it really doesn't matter. You don't go on giving credentials, I have done this. So many people, when we meet, they immediately start giving credentials. You know, I have done Reiki, I have done crystal therapy, I have done past life regression, I have done Vedanta also. Vedanta full textbook I have read 5 times. Bhagavad Gita, I know the chapters complete. Some of the chapters I know it by heart. Chapter 12, chapter 15. They just go on rattling off their resume of why they are spiritual. What is the amount of studies I have done? How many masters I have listened to, how many ashrams I am associated with. These are all nonsense. External showing off of your shop of spirituality. Just as people have OSD, obsessive showing of disorder, of their clothes, of their jewelry, of their houses, properties, of their children, everything they would like to show off. Similarly, this also has become a show off of spirituality. It has nothing to do with being spiritual. Nothing to do. So being spiritual is focus on a little, see that the transformation is done. Information is given. That information needs to make a transformation into me. Once you are transformed, don't worry, you don't need to study the scriptures. You don't need to study the scriptures. Whatever you do will become scriptures. You will be so understanding of the laws, what happens in the world, in and around. That's the story of Dattatreya. Dattatreya's story is when Dattatreya is walking, he has these 4 dogs behind. And those 4 dogs represent Vedanta Shastra. They will follow you, you don't worry. So the study of scriptures, take it every day a little bit. Like a master used to say, every day study at least 1 page, read at least 1 page of a grantha. Every day exercise a little, every day study 1 page of the grantha, every day eat something healthy, try to, and move on in life. Discipline, again discipline not in a rigid form, this I have to do, oh my God I have to do. No, don't get panicky over anything. Relax. Spirituality is aaram se. But then if you understand or misunderstand aaram se and say, I will do sir, aneka janma is there left. No. Then they say this is only janma, do it. Don't procrastinate anything saying tomorrow will come. do everything what you can do to the best of your ability, but it should not be forceful. Every action should be out of love. Study the scriptures. Bhagavad Gita, Kinchit Dhita, a little bit of studies. Bhagavad Gita, what? Adhita. Adhita means bring into you. From the textbook it should come to you. So that is true studies of Vedanta. Okay. So thus, with the help of the words of Vedanta, and who's going to interpret the teachings? Yes, the scriptures are there. Yes, Bhagavad Gita is there. Upanishads are there. Great textbooks are there. But they are all written quite a lot of years back. Thousands perhaps. These teachings have been coming from time immemorial. Now when that happens, then my present intellect is not available to absorb whatever is written in the Shastras, because you need a particular type of intellect to understand what the Shastras are saying and interpret it to the generation, to the society properly. Sarvo Upanishado Gao, in Dhyana Shloka this line is there. Dugdha Gopala Nandana Partho Sudhi Bhokta Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahata. The whole Upanishads are the cows, and the milker of the cow, if anybody is trying to milk the cow, the first time you get is a kick, because you don't know how to do it. There is a technique to even milk the cow. So you need a Krishna, a Lord, a Paramatma, a complete disciplined intellect to remove a little bit of knowledge from the Upanishads and give it in diluted form to Arjuna. So the Upanishads, drawing the knowledge from the Upanishads, you need somebody, and that somebody is represented by Satguru, teachings of a Satguru. It is not a title. It is not a title. Satguru, a guru who always points to the right direction. Satyaka Guru, a guru who is always pointing towards the right direction. So when you say Sat Guru, he is like a mariner's compass. He or she will and should not answer to small queries of what to do with my son-in-law, what to do with my daughter-in-law. My son is going through this, my daughter is going through this, my husband is going through this, and it's like people call the teachers now and give their old stories of please give me a solution to this. We have a name for it. It's called DAG. D-A-G. D-A-G is dial a guru. So you dial his or her number and ask queries. It should not be used, the contact of a teacher or a guru should not be used for flimsy purposes. Let us socialize, let us meet. It should never happen that. You value the teacher's time, and the teacher loves any student who values their time. That means they have understood something in life. So a proper Sadguru is a one who is like a mariner's compass, showing only one direction, that is the north. And once that direction is shown of north, then the person has understood, who's holding the compass. I have understood east, I have understood west, I have understood south, northeast, northwest, southeast, south. All the directions I have understood just by showing this one direction north. That should be the teacher. The teacher should be immersed in the knowledge of Vedanta. The teacher should be immersed in the knowledge of Vedanta. Doesn't mean study, then keep on quoting right, left and center about what all it is there in Bhagavad Gita and other textbooks. It doesn't mean that. Immersed in the knowledge of Vedanta means he or she has understood Vedanta Tattva-Bodhah in its essence, and through their experiences in life, they have come to know the Supreme Reality. They are the living embodiment of divinity. Guru Gobind dono khade, काके लागे पाव, बलिहारी गुरु आपने, जिन गोबिंद दियो मिलाए सेस कबीर. Guru and Gobind, God and Guru, both are standing before me, and the student is perplexed. Whose feet should I touch? And Kabir gives in the second line, I am supposed to touch the feet of the Guru, because of Guru only I had a darshan of God. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Ve Namaha. Guru is the ultimate. Therefore, whenever you see a Guru, olden times, don't do it now, it's more of a bhavana, but olden times they used to do Sashtang Namaskar to the Guru. Sashtang Namaskar means the hand like this, bow down. So the hand is touching his feet. My head, the intellect, is touching the floor. My heart is touching the floor, as well as my whole personality is completely aligned to the feet of the Guru. Why the feet of the Guru? Because that feet of Guru represents a certain principle, a substratum on which the whole personality of the Guru is standing. And what is that substratum? Truth, the reality. He or she has understood the reality, and the whole alignment of a student's personality towards that truth, not towards the teacher, not towards the personality of the teacher. This is the catch-22 situation. Many people get associated with the personality of the teacher and they miss the idea completely. Understand, at present, that particular idea of the Supreme Reality is manifested through the embodiment of a particular teacher. Don't fall in love with the manifestation of that ideal. Let it come, receive all the knowledge, but understand the higher ideal is much more important than the personality. The personalities will come and go. The ideal, the principle remains forever. So this is the way a student should look at the teacher, and the teacher should have experienced the knowledge, number one. There should be a complete surrender from the student's point of view, and the teacher is living in his own glory. Since he or she has understood the Supreme Reality, they give it all to communicate to anybody who wants to become a better person than what they were before. This is the job of the teacher. So when you say a teacher, this is my Guru, this Guru is not a Guru. Therefore, the word is not a Satguru. I listen to everybody, sir, हम तो सबको सुनते हैं, कान पवित्र कर लेते हैं. All satsangs I hear, that has nothing to do with you. Hear all, you hear nothing, it really doesn't matter. Pick up a Guru. Please. You pick up a Guru, select a Guru according to your own composition. So you had, or you made up of these three components at present. Understanding is of your body, mind and intellect. Understand what kind of a personality you are. Are you a physical person? Are you an emotional person? Are you a person who uses his intellect to ask the questions why and how? If you are a person who uses only physical brute force, then you need a different kind of a teacher. Maybe a Ramdas, Shivaji's Guru, because Ramdas had this reputation of every day doing 1000 Surya Namaskars. Physical. So you do that. There's nothing wrong. He's a great, great master. But understand and then align towards that Guru. No sir, I don't like this physical namaskar and all. It's okay. You do your physical exercises for half an hour, not 1,000 and all. A little too much. But sir, I love singing. Some of the bhajans are so beautiful. And when I go to the temple, I see that Lord Krishna, especially Kunja Krishna, small Krishna, baby Krishna, is so cute. If you are of that mentality, then you are predominantly emotional. Then pick up a teacher who will give talks also, but gives you more stories about Lords, sings more bhajans on an harmonium. So you go to that, you align to that if that is your composition. If you are a person who sits after 2 bhajans, 3 bhajans, says enough now, I need to sit and think, okay, teacher should guide me how to go about this now. This is the problem I am facing. Why is this happening in my life? How should this happen? How should Vedanta turn myself into a force? At present, I am not a force. I am forced by the society to do things. But how can I turn myself into a force? I want to learn this from Vedanta. How to go about it. So what is the meaning of extroverted? What is the meaning of introvert? Oh, so many questions. When you are asking and thinking about so many questions, then you need to find a teacher who encourages inquiry. Then you are fit for Jnana Yoga. Remember this, none of these is lower or higher than each other. Each situation is at their own. So some ignorant people say this is higher, that is lower. Don't listen to them. Fix your own composition, understand your personality, and then pursue the knowledge. And that's the way you select a guru. And then the rest Guru will do. And use your inquiry every time. What is right and what is wrong. Keep on thinking and understanding the concept. So this is the second. You have to have not a Guru, you have to have the Guru, the Satguru. That one person who can change and will change your life. It's a complete dedication of the teacher to hold on to the finger of the student. And like Ram Tirtha says, I can't show you what that higher knowledge is. It need not and may not be perceptible. But come with me shoulder to shoulder and I'll take you there. It's a journey. When will the Bhagavad Gita end? So Tattva-Bodhah end after that. Focus is entirely wrong. Every class I keep on saying, focus is wrong. There is no end. It only ends when I have understood the Grantha and I have moved to a different level. So scriptures I need to study. The Sadguru I need to select and listen to him or her with complete Shraddha, dedication as well as inquiry. Then one who sees reality permeated in all beings is called Jivanmuktah. When you go to a particular factory, you see from the objective point of view that there is this building. Raw materials are carried into the building in trucks. Some raw material may be making of jams and all. So some fruits are brought into the truck. Then inside it is processed. And then the last bottle of jam, it comes out. So as the raw material comes, the study of the scriptures. So raw material is taken care of properly. I am studying the scriptures. Whatever the scriptures is. It can be the Guru Granth Sahib, it can be the Bible, it can be the Quran, it can be Bhagavad Gita, it can be Ramayana, all the scriptures talk about the highest philosophy. But the problem is we pick up that scripture and then we go to a wrong teacher. and the teacher interprets according to his or her vasanas. If he needs more money, he'll interpret that way. He needs more power and fame, he or she, they will interpret that way. So find a proper. So second is the processing unit. And what does the Guru do? Guru's job is to see to it that the student becomes better and better in his dealings with the world, and in and through the dealings of the world, he is less agitated than what he was before, until the agitation completely stops. He is more and more happier. He is more and more cheerful. The student, he or she. That's the job of the teacher, to guide him, saying, see, this you are going wrong. In the kingdom of Dasharatha, where everybody were kings and princes, Rama and all, they had a Kuluguru, Vasishtha, a guru who gives a direction saying that this is the way the state should run. This is the ideal which cannot be compromised. That's the job of the Guru. So he educates in that way. And so the processing is the student's mind and intellect. His emotions become more pure. His intellect becomes more sharper. This I need in the world, this I don't need in the world. This is what I am supposed to act, this I don't need to act. So his discrimination power becomes astute. The jam bottle comes out. You open the lid of the jam bottle, put a spoon inside and taste the quality. This is called quality control. So spiritual people basically, how will I know I am spiritual, sir? So many students have asked this question. Sir, I have attended the classes 10 years. I have been attending the satsangs, not only yours, but other great Mahatmas also, satsangs for 20, 30 years. I think I have become realized. Congratulations. Have I become realized? Do you think I know now? All these questions, you don't need to ask anybody. So how will I know I am spiritual? How will I know? Others can't see spirituality. I can't show everybody. Listen, 10 years back, I was studying satsang, and now see how much spiritual I am. 30% I have become more spiritual. You can't show it to the world. So how will I know that I become spiritual? Easy. The acid test of you understanding whether you are spiritual. He who sees reality permeated in all beings. Are you seeing divinity everywhere? Are you seeing goodness everywhere? Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Actually, I have started seeing goodness, because there is no bad. God is everywhere, no? So there is no bad. So I have started seeing goodness in all good things also. That is easy. In good things to see, in beautiful things to see beauty is very, very easy. Na? But I started seeing goodness even in Ravana, sir. Ravana is a great character. He was a great Brahmin. He was a great learned Pandit. Karna was so nice and he was so charitable. He did so much good to people. He was amazing. And Duryodhana, he is completely driven towards his goal of getting that throne of Hastinapur and beautiful nature. I have started seeing goodness into bad people so much that I make them heroes. This is another problem that people are facing up. Karna, Dushasana, all these Duryodhana, all these people, Ashwathama, these people have all been put in the side of the Kauravas, who Bhishma, Drona, who are fighting against the Pandavas, who have a symbolic representation of Lord Krishna. So the whole Kauravas, including Bhishma, including Drona, including Karna, including Dhritarashtra and Shakuni, Duryodhana, and we are looking into the positives of people who are fighting with the Lord. They and their characters are being put in the Kauravas by the author for a purpose. The purpose is what? They may be good in part. One quality may be good, perhaps. Duryodhana till the last, he was the best friend, BFF with Karna. That one quality may be good. But if you penetrate a little, you will understand the malicious nature of Duryodhana. They are kept in the wrong side for a reason. So please don't see good in them. That is not to be imitated. That is not to be learnt. When they are talking, the great masters are talking about seeing that reality everywhere, understand that in and through every action of every emotion and thought where I am interacting with the people, the principle behind that interaction is the supreme self, the supreme awareness. The principle. But the manifestation of that particular principle depends on that person's vasanas, gunas, body, mind and intellect. And if the motor is wrong, it will take you in a different way. So, I need to see the wrong in wrong person so that I can avoid him. What is the definition of a good driver? A person who has a car driving. What is the definition of a good driver? The definition of a good driver is he obeys the traffic rules, sees his lane and dedicated to his lane, he sticks to it, and he avoids bad drivers. So when the Shastra sees divinity everywhere, it is not foolishly looking at everything saying, no, that person is basically good, sabko jaane do, sabko maaf karo. No. In spite of the Lord, in the 35 qualities giving Adveshta, Sarvabhutaram, Maitre, Karuna, the whole qualities are there, 35 qualities. The first one, Adveshta, Sarvabhuta, no hatred toward any being. We have to understand this properly. Is Krishna is talking to Arjuna. Ved Vyasa has written this subject of Mahabharata and he's used Krishna, the Lord, to speak to Arjuna in the battlefield where Arjuna is saying, I don't want to fight. He is ready to go away. And Krishna is explaining to him to do his duty and responsibility as a Kshatriya, as a fight towards righteousness, and in that war, in that fight, he says no hatred towards any being. Looks like a contradiction, it is not. This kind of an understanding, this kind of a quality control is important. I love everybody. Whoever comes in my life, I love everybody. But I have a distinction. My intellect focuses not on personalities. I don't discriminate between father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, children. My discrimination focuses on only, is this righteous or unrighteous? Is this the right thing to do or not the right thing to do? And I do accordingly. Each one of that student who thinks this way has understood the Vedanta scriptures, has understood what the Satguru is meaning to say and convey through that deep import of the message, and his life has become a non-agitated state of affairs, and he or she is enjoying in the world, seeing that supreme divinity flashed everywhere. Every aspect he sees love. Therefore, they are always cheerful. You will not find a single guru sitting like this, oh my God, why did this happen? I don't know, why did I do this? After all, I am doing so much good. They don't even think like that. In fact, they should not think like that. They don't think. They don't have the capacity to think. What is this? Why is this happening to me? No. With each and everything, their attitude. So they see movies, they read good books, they listen to music, but everything they do is focused on only one thing: concretization of their own sense of values. Understand this concept of concretization of their own set. I have value. I have value. I am always supposed to speak the truth. I am always supposed to be straightforward. I am always supposed to be helpful, to serve and not to be served. Life is to give, not to take. It is difficult to find happiness within oneself, but it is impossible to find it anywhere else. All these quotations I have understood, but do I live it? So in everyday affair, the spiritual people keep on concretizing their own values. You dig the road, you cover it with water, you keep it covered with water, put concrete and then cover it water for X amount of days until the water soaks and make the whole thing strong. After that you can't break. Is my sense of values so strong, like a lighthouse, that whatever the world throws at me, like the waves coming and lashing at the base of the lighthouse, it cannot do anything to the lighthouse. The power of the lighthouse to stand still in that stormy night and giving light and guidance to others of where to go and where not to go, while nothing happens to him or her. Concretization of those values. That will come when you see divinity everywhere. You don't have anything vicious, evil against anybody. That doesn't mean you meet a Duryodhana and you hug Duryodhana and say, Duryodhana, you know, my teacher told me I love you. No, he will finish you off. Understand each and every human being whom you are married to, who are your children. Just understand. When I go to the zoo, I see a deer and I can pat the deer. I can give the deer some grass and maybe take a, selfie. Hang on to the deer and he take a selfie. That I can do. I see a beautiful, majestic Siberian tiger or a Bengal tiger, and the tiger is sitting there yawning away to glory, completely bored. And I want to wake up the tiger. So I put my hand inside, take a chicken piece or something, and I wave at the tiger and say, come, 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 come. If the tiger comes, it will eat its food. That includes my hand also. Perhaps it will drag me inside. So I go and look at the deer, hug the deer. I know how much to contact the deer. And I look at the tiger, I stay away from the tiger and yet appreciate its majestic personality. There is no hatred towards the tiger, because the tiger kills the deer. In National Discovery, or when you see them, they are running behind a deer or an antelope and they kill it, and you say, Arey yaar, you wish that that antelope would have escaped. But there is no hatred towards the tiger. That's natural. There is a scene where it runs behind a particular antelope and the antelope runs away, and the tiger is, the lioness is, she's breathing hard, and we feel that thank God it's saved, and the antelope ran away. And then the next moment the commentator says, this was the last of the herd. After this the herd will move everywhere. And since the tiger could not feed on the antelope, it will not have lioness, it will not have enough milk to sustain its young ones. So one thing is sure, both her cubs are going to die. Now what do? Do you feel that nahi yaar, actually, it should have caught the antelope, because there are other antelopes. Either way, you are no more in judgment. You just function and let things function in its own way. Help if you can to the best of their ability, or shrug your shoulder and move off. But either way, you are not agitated. This is the quality control. Then when this happens, you become a Jivanmuktah. These are the indications of a Jivanmuktah. So what is the Jivanmuktah? Mukta, free. Jeevan, life. Free while living. Why is this concept given? Because the Shastras have mentioned that there have been personalities who, while living, look as if they are extremely free, completely non-agitated state of affairs, while living in the world, perhaps while living in relationships. They are not tied to anything. I'll give one example of a master, Ramana Maharishi. He was sitting in a mountain called Arunachalam Hills, I think so. So he was sitting there, and in the mountain cave, there were a lot of people, students were there, and they said that, "Sir, why don't you come down and we'll build an ashram?" He said, "All right." So he took his towel, put it under his armpit, and came down. There was a cot, he sat on the cot, and they built an ashram around him. This is a true story. The collector came, the government collector, and he said that, "Excuse me, but how come you have built the ashram?" So the other people were saying, "No, we built the ashram because it's a Mahatma and we have built this ashram." No, you can't build this ashram. You don't have proper documents, and land belongs to the government. So and so person. You can't build an ashram like this. So this man went directly to Maharishi and said, "You can't do this. You can't build an ashram. So this is illegal." Maharishi said, "All right," and he took the towel, put it under his armpit, and went back to the mountains. He went back and sat there. Collector did not know what to do. See that attitude, that I create the world, I can stop the world whenever I want. What is a big deal? It was never meant anyway. Some people came together and did something. Not to be done, you move off. This kind of an action, this kind of a temperament, as if the world, a spiritual person refuses the world. Yoga Vasishtha says, a spiritual person gives up the world as if you will give up a refuse of a crow. A refuse of a crow, how you just move away, that is the way a spiritual person can give up the world at any instant, at any moment. So that is a Jivanmuktah. That attitude is seen in people who are living, rishis who are living. Therefore, this concept has been brought. Previously, it was thought that when a person dies, all his vasanas can be eradicated. And when all the vasanas are eradicated, including the physical body, and when the physical body dies away, he will become realized. Mukta, nirvana, whatever name you give. Such an attitude is represented as Videha Mukti. Previously it was called Mukti. It's a Videha Mukti, means my body is also gone and he's become free. Now Jivanmukti is everything else is gone. All the vasanas and all the desires have disappeared. There is only some tailbone vasanas remaining. Maybe 2-3 of this physical body. If physical body is there, yes, it is there. I have to feed it. I have to feed something. Feed the body. I need to keep it fit. Even Ramana Maharishi used to walk around the hill 3 times every day. Compulsory walking. Because the body needs to be, until it is alive, it needs to be fit. So I can't deviate and say, no, I will not go for exercise, but I'll do everything else. Your body will disappear. Your body will disappear. All whatever you want to do will go. So don't take it lightly. So even Ramana Maharishi used to walk 3 times the mountain. So you take care of the body. Feed it properly. Take care of it. Take bath. Do everything. But understand, in the heart of heart, it is going to go. Whether I like it or not, take care as much as you can. Same thing with family. Live with everybody, enjoy the company, but understand everybody will go in their own path. Not only that, each one has their own destination, their own choice. When you understand that and you are not affected by whatever happens around, you are called Jivanmuktah. We'll just read the next verse. Verse 32. Then who is a Jivanmuktah? Who is explaining the whole thing about what Jivanmuktah is? Again the question is, who is a Jivan? See, this attitude shows the genuineness of the student to ask questions, even if it is repeated, and the earnestness of the teacher to explain a particular concept, even if it is explained 1,000 times. Do we have that kind of patience? The teacher has. That attitude of repeating the same thing over and over and over again without getting agitated. Seeing the same thing, saying the same thing, because what he is saying, he or she is saying for the 1,000th time. But perhaps one student who is listening may be listening it for the first time. So the teacher has all the humility and zero arrogance to keep on explaining the same thing again with full love. I'll end up with this beautiful story which our teacher used to tell. One man, husband, wife and child were there. Child was around 7 years old. The wife was going for a work and the husband at that day was a holiday. So the wife said, see, I need to go urgently and do some work. Please prepare him, make him take bath and go to school. And the husband is relaxed. He's sitting on an easy chair in a garden. He's reading a newspaper. He said, yeah, I'll do that. Bathing time has come. So he makes, the children have that playing sort of a swimming pool, small plastic one. In the garden, he made something filled with water. Then he told his boy, come, take bath. Come and take bath. The boy is running around. Usually children, they don't sit in one place. So that child is running around and the child is shouting at the father. He can take liberty with the father, not with the mother. Okay, he can take liberty. So he is telling the father, "Naan onne adippen." In Tamil, "Naan onne adippen." Adiche onne kuli thondi kulile pope. Poduvre. He says, "I will hit you. I will hit you. I'll dig a pit. I'll put you in the pit. I'll put mud on that pit. And then I will keep on jumping on that. And I will kill you." 6-year-old boy. And a father looks at that boy, all that dialogue, and he says, "Day, vada, hey, come re. Any teacher worth the salt, the student is like this only. Do you think I should study Vedanta, sir? Should I come to the classes? But I feel all right now. Thank you very much. I'll go. What to do, sir? I'm very disturbed. I'm very agitated. I'm having problems with my relation. My mind, no, sir. I know the Vedanta concept. It is not resting in peace. It is in pieces. It's in pieces. I don't know what to do. At present, I don't have time to study Vedanta because the timings are very different. No? It's very so. Someday, sir, when everything gets settled, my husband become more happy with me. My wife become more happy with me. Children are well settled. Our teacher says the only thing that settles in water is dust particles. settle, 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 and constantly everybody is busy about everything else. Making money, maintaining relationships, they are busy in everything else except how to remain happy in the most disturbing situations. And the teacher sitting from somewhere afar, he is looking distance, the student running around, and the student is cursing the teacher. This is what I'll do, this is what I'll do, this is what. And the teacher looks and says, "Hey, Vada, Kamre, make your life better. Study a little. This subject is not for the teacher. He or she has understood. They are living their life beautifully in plenty. This is for the students who are keen to get out of that agitation and stress and find a meaning into their new life." That's a Jivanmuktah. And the further qualities of a Jivanmuktah we'll continue with the next class. Thank you very much. Oh.